Good night, peeps. Sorry for that. I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry for that. But I am back, and our topic for tonight, motivational speaking, is how do you get past the hurt to love again? I'm gonna wait on you guys to come back in, and then we can start our discussion. I don't know what happened to the phone. It just got disconnected. But our topic for tonight is how do you get past the hurt to love again? How do you move on when someone has hurt you? How it could be a family member, a friend, your spouse, your children. It could be anyone. How do you look past what that person did and say, I love you? Especially if you're being hurt by a close friend or a family member. How do you look past it to say, I love you? I still love you. I love you in spite of the hurt. I love you in spite of what you did. How do you look past it? How do you still love someone who hurt you? And that's going to be our topic for tonight. And the floor is open for discussions and opinions and questions if you have any. So I'm going to give you a few more minutes to come in, and then we can start having our discussions. Our topic is how do you get past the hurt to love again? How can you get past someone's hurting you to still say I love you? So I'm going to just start adding random people and asking them questions, and I'm hoping you all are open to come on this live and to share, to motivate someone and to share your opinion and your answer about this question. How do you move past the hurt that someone has hurt you to still loving them, or to still look at the person and say I love you in spite of what you did? I love you. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my phone tonight. It's kind of giving a little trouble. I don't know what's going on with it, but I'm still on motivational speaking, and our topic for tonight is how do you move past the hurt that someone has hurt you and still love them and still can say I love you in spite of what you did. I love you. How do you do that? And I'm open. The line is open for your answer, your opinions, your questions, anything that you want to say, anything that you want to add, anything pertaining to motivational speaking, motivating someone, reaching out to someone, helping someone to overcome some hurt that they have been through. And Ladiva is saying it's hard, but forgiving that person gives you inner peace. So when you forgive and release that person, you can move forward from the hurt and love again. And that is so true. Thank you, Ladiva. Thank you for your answer. And that should sum up everything. Like, if someone has hurt you so deep, you have to forgive them. It's a must that you forgive the person, because all of us have done some stuff that we're not proud of. All of us have hurt someone in our lifetime, and in order for that person to move on, they will have to forgive us. And we can't ask for forgiveness if we don't want to forgive. I cannot hurt you, ask you to forgive me, and if you hurt me, I can't forgive you. We have to forgive each other. And that's the process. That's the first step in moving forward from hurt. That's the process. That's the first step to go forward. You have to forgive. Have to. It's a must that you forgive. Once you can't forgive, then you have not moved on from the hurt. You have to forgive the person. In order to love the person again, you have to forgive them. If you haven't forgiven that person, that means you have not moved on from the hurt. You're still holding on to the hurt. So thank you, Ladiva, for your answer to the question. I'm still opening the floor for any other opinions. Anybody have anything to share as it relates to the topic that we're having the discussion on tonight? How do you get past the hurt to love again? How do you get past the hurt? How do you get past someone hurting you or doing you wrong to loving the person again? How do you look beyond the hurt that someone has hurt you to love again? That's our topic for tonight. And the floor is open for discussion. I have no idea what is going on with my phone. This phone is acting up tonight. It is acting up tonight, but I'm still on motivational speaking. I am still here trying to motivate persons who are going through a hard time, who are going through a rough time. We are using this platform, everyone on this platform, we're using it to encourage someone, to uplift someone's spirit, to motivate someone, to encourage someone, to give someone hope who has lost hope. What's wrong with the live tonight? I have no idea, Ladiva. I don't know why my phone seems to be acting up. I have no idea. I had a live earlier and then the phone freeze up and then it come back and then everything gone. I have no idea what's going on with the phone, but it's not going to hinder me from discussing my topic tonight. I am trying not to let the phone hinder me from discussing my topic tonight. How do you move past the hurt? I think it's the weather. I think so too. How do you move past someone hurting you to say, I forgive you, I love you, in spite of what you did? Because trust me, I'm going to say this, right? I have issues. When I keep looking on the hurt that someone hurt me, there are some persons that I have, I find it hard to forgive them. Like, that's the human side of me saying, but look at what this person did to you. Look at what they said about you. Look at what they did. It's too much. And because the human side of me is saying that to me, I'm holding on to the hurt. And if you haven't let go of the hurt, then you cannot forgive. And I'm holding on to the hurt. But when you hold on to hurt, it's like you're torturing yourself slowly. You're not at peace. You get easily angered for no reason, because it's like the least small thing that a person can do, you will look at it and say, oh, this look like what that person did me. I don't trust this person. And sometimes it's not even that, and it's nothing. But because you're holding on to the hurt from the first person and you haven't moved on from that hurt, you're telling yourself that everyone that comes along that seems to be acting like this person is gonna hurt you. And it holds you back. It holds you back from moving forward. It holds you back from being positive. It holds you back from getting even your blessings, because you can expect that every time you have done wrong, the Lord should forgive you, but someone did you wrong and you can't forgive them. So holding on to unforgiveness holds back your blessings from you. And Ladiva is saying when you hold on to the hurt, it's dead weight and it makes you bitter. Yes, that's what it does. It makes you bitter, ignorant. It doesn't do anything good for you. It drives you to be suspicious of everything and anything. Anything and everything. Everything you get suspicious of. I don't know what's going on with my phone. And that's what hurt does to you when you hold on to it. So for tonight, we're talking about how do you let go? Yes, someone hurt you. Yes, someone did you wrong. How? How do you let go off of it? How do you move past the hurt? Because I know someone is holding on to some hurt that someone has hurt them. How? And they want to know how do I let go off of this? How do I forgive this person? How do I move on? How do I even see the person and like talk to them? How do I even see the person and like hug them? How do I even see the person and say hi? How do I tell this person that I love you in spite of what you did? Sometimes you can forgive the person, but you don't have to be in the same space if it's gonna be a constant reminder. Sometimes you gotta love some people from a distance. That is true. It is true. You can forgive a person, but you don't have to be in the same space. Because letting go of a person doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be best friends or we have to communicate every day as how we used to. But I have forgiven you, so I have nothing against you. Sometimes you gotta love some people from a distance. That is true. But the question is this, all right. Yes, you can love people from a distance, but if you are being hurt by your child or your children, how do you do that? How do you move on? Because hurt is hurt, whether it's coming from friends, family, it's hurt. How do you move on from the hurt that your child hurt you or your family hurt you or your spouse hurt you or your girlfriend hurt you or your boyfriend hurt you or your fiance hurt you or your husband or your wife hurt you? How do you move on from that? What do you do to get over that hurt? Because then you can get out of the space if your husband hurt you. You got to learn how to work it out. That's your husband. How are you going to get away from that space? Or your children, how are you going to get away from that space? So apart from being hurt by friends, you're hurt by friends, so you can be able to get out of that space or that circle. But if it's a family member that you have to deal with every day of your life, or your spouse or your children, how do you get out of that space? How do you get out of that hurt? And I'm still waiting on our guests to come in. I have some people to call. So I'm still waiting on and the floor is open. If you want to join the live, you can send me an invite and I'll be sure to add you because your opinion is important. I want to know I want to know how to move on from a hurt that I'm going through. So I'm looking for some good answers, some good help so I can help myself to move on from hurt. Cool. I have no idea what is going on with the peeps. Welcome everyone. Welcome in joining in tonight. And our topic for discussion tonight is how do you get past the hurt to love again? How do you get past hurt to love again? Hurt can be anyone. It don't necessarily have to be a friend. It can be a family. It can be your children. It can be your spouse or your loved one, or it could be anyone. How do you get past that hurt to love them again, to love that person? My phone is kind of acting up. So, bear with me, please. My phone, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's because of the weather, the bad weather. My phone is kind of giving me some issues. But that's our topic for discussion for tonight. Hi, Ashima. And I want you to share your opinion because I know we have all been through stuff. We have all been hurt before. We have all gone through so many different stuff. So we can only learn from each other. And no opinion is foolish and no answer is foolish. It's a learning and a growing process. It's a motivational speaking platform. So we can all be motivated from someone's hurt. We can all be motivated from someone's opinion. So the floor is open. And the question is, the topic for tonight is, how do you get past the hurt to love again? How do you look at someone that has hurt you so deep and say, I love you, or I have forgiven you, or how do you do it? And that's the topic for tonight. My phone is giving me some issues. I started a live before and I don't know what happened. If it's your child and it's a small child, then you can't love them at a distance. You're gonna have... That's true, Ladiva. But how? How do you deal with it? Like, how do you deal with it? That's what I want to know. How do you deal with... You have to love them unconditionally no matter what. How do you deal with the hurt to say I love you? How do you deal with that? How do you put all that hurt behind you? I have no... This phone is going crazy. So, our topic for tonight, as I was saying earlier, how do you get past the hurt to love again? And one of Sanique, she was on the first live, she said that it starts with forgiveness. If you can't forgive someone for what they have done to you, then you don't deserve to be forgiven. Because we have all done stuff that we are not proud of. We have all done stuff to persons and hurt other persons' feelings. And if we can't forgive someone for hurting us, how do we expect that someone is going to forgive us for hurting them? So she was basically saying that in order for you to move on, first you have to forgive the person. La Diva is saying, depending on how often your husband keeps hurting you, and if he's hurting you over and over, worse if you're unhappy in the marriage, then it would be best to forgive them. But if you can't bear to get hurt and you're unhappy, then best you separate. So that's La Diva's comment. She said if the person keeps doing it over and over and over again, and it's something that you can't work out or move past, then it's best you separate. That's her opinion. How do you get past the hurt to love again? How do you get past someone hurting you to still say I love you in spite of what you did? I love you. How do you get past? How do you get to that point where you can look at someone who hurt you and say, in spite of what you did, I still love you. I love you. Yeah, she might say, she will kill the person for what? Why would you want to kill? I mean, some hurt can cause anger, and anger can cause you to want to do stuff to people. But if you think about the logics of it, like, I'm going to kill that person, I'm going to go behind bars for the rest of my life. That doesn't make any sense. How do you get, and we all have done it. We all have done something that's hurtful to someone. In regards to family members, if it's someone that you have to live with, then you forgive them and put what they did aside and try to love them again, because that's the only way you're going to have peace. So, Ladiva, I get what you're saying, right? But what if it's someone that you don't live with? How do you, if it's a family member and you don't live in the same space, you don't share the same space, but it's a family member, right? Someone that, say for instance, your aunt or your sister hurt you. You don't live in the same space. How do you move on so the next time you see your aunt, you're not upset, you're not angry? You can easily talk to that person without feeling any type of way, like, don't still feel that hurt when you talk to the person. What do you do to move on? How do you know that you have moved on from the hurt? That's basically what I'm trying to the point that I'm trying to get. How do you move on? What do you do within yourself? What do you do within yourself to move on? Because we could be, this forum is to help persons who are going through stuff. I might not be going through hurt. I might not have been hurt as some persons, because all of us have different level of hurt that we go through. So I good night. I'm late for class. Blessings to all in the house. Good night, Ode. Good night. How are you? Are you ready to come on live? I'm ready for you tonight, you know. Are you ready? Blessings to you too. The topic for tonight is, how do you move past the hurt to love again? Someone hurt you. How do you get past what that person did to still look at the person and say, in spite of what you did, I love you. I still love you. It could be your spouse, your children, your family, even your friends. Somebody hurt you, did something to you, tell a lie. I mean, tell a lie is a hurt. How do you look past how do you move on from that? All right, I won't call you until you're ready. How do you move on from that hurt to say, I love you, I still love you? And that's our topic for discussion, because all of us are going through something. Somebody has hurt us at some point in our life. And in order for us to move on from where we're at, to be at peace, to not be angry, or not to take the hurt out on someone else that we're going through, in order for us to do that, we have to first forgive. We have to forgive the person, because as I was saying earlier, sometimes people hurt you based on things that they're going through, things that they have been through. And that is what caused the reaction for you to be hurt. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're the person who are putting them through stuff. But because of what they have been through, you might look like the person that hurt them before, and they see you coming and they say, okay, I know this behavior, it happened before. So how do you get past that? How do you get past that hurt? Yes. And it is all for us to help each other, to motivate each other, to build each other. If you're not in the same space, then you pray and ask God to open your heart and help you to forgive that person who hurt you, so that you can speak to or be around that person without feeling angry and bitter. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Ladiva. That's a good answer. That's a good one. So Ladiva is saying, the question is, how do you get past the hurt to love again? And Ladiva is saying if you're in the same space with the person, then you have to forgive them and learn how to love them and deal with the person. But if you're not in the same space as a person, it is the same thing. You have to pray and ask God to open your heart and help you to forgive that person who hurt you, so that you can speak to them without feeling angry or bitter. Thank you for your comments. I'm hoping and I hope that this will reach someone who is suffering from hurt, who is going through hurt, and who feels as if they cannot forgive the person for what they have done. So our first step is to forgive. Or the next step is to ask God for help. Ask God. You can ask God for anything that you want. Anything. He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. So the next step is to ask God, if you think that, oh, I can't do this. This is too much. This person did me so bad. This is too much for me to overlook. This is too much for me to move on. This is too much for me to forgive them. Ask God to help you. He will. Ask God to open your heart so that you can be able to forgive the person. You can be able to talk to them the same way without being angry or bitter. He will help you. As long as you ask him to help you, he will. As long as you open your heart to receive the help, you will get it. So thank you, Ladiva. That was a good point. That's a good point. You ask God for help to open your heart so that you can forgive the person that has done you wrong. And it's 10 o'clock. And I promised I wasn't going to stay long tonight. And my phone is kind of acting up also. So I am going to take a few more opinions and answers, and then I am going to end the live for tonight. And I'm not going to come on tomorrow, but I'll be back on Monday. Or I'm not sure if I'm going to come on tomorrow. I'm not sure. But if I'm not on tomorrow, for sure, I'll be back on Monday. Ladiva, with every hurt doesn't matter who it's coming from. Just pray and ask God to open up your heart, or give you a forgiving heart like his. It might take some time, but keep praying and God will help you. And God will help you to... I don't know what's going on with my phone. To release that person. And that is so true. That is so true. But you have to have a heart. You have to open your heart. You have to open your mind. You have to be open. So you can't be one-sided. You can't be saying, oh, is that person hurt me? Why should I apologize? Or is that person hurt me? Why should I want to talk to them? You have to be open. You have to be open to forgiving the person. You have to be open to talk to them. Even if it takes an apology, you have to be open to apologize too. Because sometimes we do stuff and we don't even realize what we're doing until the person's reaction is to hurt us. Also ask yourself, if it was you who had hurt the person, if you wouldn't want them to forgive you. Even if it's done, just ask yourself. It helps. It does. I always say, if that person's shoes should fit me, I wonder if it would be big, comfortable, or tight. That's what I always say. Like, if I was in that person's shoes, what would I want? Would I want the person to forgive me? Would I want the person to still talk to me? And those are some of the ways that you can use to move on. But you have to have God in the midst. If God is not in the midst, it's going to be a rocky road. It's going to be difficult. It's like you can use your mouth to say, oh, I have forgiven the person, but I'm never going to talk to them ever again. You haven't forgiven the person. You have not. If you're going to say, oh, I forgive that person, but I'm never ever going to talk to them again. And if I see them on the right, I'm going to take their life. That's not forgiveness. You have not forgiven the person if you're going to talk like that. You must be able to say hi to the person and be comfortable. That's how you know you have forgiven someone that has hurt you. You must be able to say hi or how are you doing, or have a nice day, and you are comfortable in speaking to the person, and that's how you know that you have forgiven that person. Some people will never apologize because they never see the wrong in what they do or say. But regardless, you got to forgive them, whether they say they're sorry or not, because forgiving them gives you, sorry or not, because forgiving them gives you inner peace. And that's so true. When you forgive persons, right, there's this calm, peaceful, it's like you are a different person. It's just different. It's a different feeling. You're just calm. You feel different when you forgive. You don't feel that angry. You don't feel that anger that's inside. You don't feel that bitterness that will be built up. It's just easier to smile. It's easier to forgive. It's easier to talk to people that have hurt you. Things become so easy. Things become so easy when you forgive. But as I was saying before, forgiveness is not, I forgive them, but I'm not going to talk to them if I see them, and I don't ever want to talk to them. That is not forgiveness. And that's what we do and say, oh, I have forgiven the person, but them better not talk to me, or them better see me on the right and take the left, because me not talk to the person. That's not forgiveness. You're just using the term to say I forgive them to try to get over it. But that's not forgiveness. Because if you forgive the person, you should feel comfortable saying, how are you doing? We don't have to be on the same page as we was before, because hurt will never, if someone has hurt you deep, it will never ever, you will never allow yourself to get back close to the person as you was before. But it doesn't mean that you can't talk to the person or say hi, or even to offer a word of encouragement to the person. Once you find yourself not being allowed to do that, then you have not forgiven the person. You have not moved on from the hurt. You're still hurting, and you haven't forgiven the person. You can't forgive someone and say, oh, I forgive you, but I'm not going to talk to you. That's not forgiveness. I forgive you, but I don't want any friendship from you, and I'm never ever going to talk to you again. And if you see me on the right, you have to walk on the left, because I don't want to talk to you. I don't even want to see you. That's not forgiveness, because you are still holding on to the hurt. So each time you see the person, you're getting bitter and bitter and angrier. You're still holding on to hurt. You're still holding on to unforgiveness. Once you have forgiven the person, then it's much easier. It's so much easier for you to talk to the person. It's so much easier for you to have a conversation with the person. It's so much easier for you to offer a word of encouragement to the person once you have forgiven them. It's so much easier to say, I love you. In spite of what you did, I love you, once you have forgiven the person. And that's what forgiveness is, not even for the person that did you wrong. And that is why we keep holding on to the hurt, because we are telling ourselves that I not forgive them because of them wrong with me. Forgiveness is not even for the person who have done you wrong. Forgiveness is for you, the person who are hurting. Forgiveness is for me. I am hurting. Forgiveness is for me. Forgiveness is not, oh, my friend hurt me and I'm not forgiving them because they hurt me. No. And that's where we get that concept wrong, that, oh, we can't forgive a person that hurts us because it's like we're letting go of them. No. Forgiveness is for us to let go of the hurt and the angerness and the bitterness that we're building up inside. Because sometimes someone can easily hurt you, right? Or we hold on to some stuff that we say persons hurt us. And sometimes the person didn't even realize that they hurt us, or we're holding on to stuff that we say people hurt us with. And then we end up being the person who is angry, who is bitter, who don't want to talk to people, who everything just triggers us and we get in an argument very easily. And that's what unforgiveness does to us who are holding on to hurt. But when you forgive and let go, it's for you to move on. It's for you to be a better person. It's for you to be positive. It's for you to not be angry. It's for you to be motivated. It's for you to move forward. And that's what forgiveness does. So sometimes we hold on to hurt and we're getting the concept of forgiveness wrong, to say, I'm not forgiving that person. But it's actually for us to get better, to move on, to move forward. Good night, Nakita. Good night. Yeah, it's for us to move forward. It's for us to be a better person. That's what forgiveness does. So it's not for me to say, I forgive you. And sometimes we hold on to, it's not for me to say, I forgive you for what you have done, but I'm not going to talk to you. I can't forgive you if I'm not going to talk to you. I'm still holding on to what you did. I'm still holding on to the hurt. And that's not forgiveness. So we have to learn how to let go. Let go of the hurt. Let go of what the person did that we are holding on to. Because sometimes somebody... Have you ever been in a situation where somebody has forgiven? Say you hurt somebody, right? And the person has forgiven you and they have moved on. And you are saying that the person hurt you. And you are there being bitter, tormented, being angry, being irritated, and the person is like so happy and dandy, and then you start to get upset and you're like, oh, but the person hurt me, so why them so happy and dandy? And you're there holding on to unforgiveness, and the person forgive you and move on long time, and I be so happy, so dandy, so excited, and you're there wondering like, but is you hurt me, so why? And that's because we are holding on and we're thinking that forgiveness is between you and the person because it's the person hurt you. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the person. It's for you to let go of that angriness that's inside, that bitterness that you have that's piling up, that is about to explode. That's what forgiveness is for. It's for you to move forward. It's for you to have a closer... Because once you start to forgive... And the Bible speaks about forgiveness. We must forgive as often. 70 times 70. We must forgive. Because as we want God to forgive us, we have to forgive. So you're there holding on to that angriness and bitterness. And you're separating yourself from God and from the love of God. By holding on to angriness and bitterness. While the person forgive and move on. And having a closer relationship and being happy with God and happy, and you're there saying, oh, but it's you do me wrong, so why you so happy? Why you behave like me do you something? And that's what unforgiveness does. It drives bitterness and angriness and aggression. And it makes you even lose yourself sometimes because all you can think about is the hurt that you're saying that people hurt you. And that's all you're thinking about is that hurt. So you have to forgive, you have to move on, you have to let go. You have to let go of the hurt. If you forgive someone, you have to let go. You're not going to forget what the person did, but you have to let go. You have to try and let go in order to be happy, in order to move on, in order to... If you see the person, you're comfortable. You and the person can be in the same space and you are comfortable with the person being in your space. Once you get to that level, then you know that you have forgiven the person. But if you cannot be comfortable seeing the person, even you have sometimes some people hurt you, and when you hear them name, you're like, I don't want to hear his name. I'm upset. I'm aggravated. I'm angry. Once you hear the person's name, but then you're saying, oh, I have forgiven the person. You have not forgiven the person. When you forgive someone, it becomes peaceful within yourself. You have peace within yourself. You won't be so easily angered when you hear the person name or if you see the person, and that is how you know that you have forgiven someone. And in order to forgive someone and to move past the hurt to love again, it begins with forgiveness. It begins with asking God to help you. We all need help. All of us need help. And it begins in asking God to come into your life, to help you to have a heart like His, to help you to have a heart of forgiveness, because we have all sinned. We have all done stuff that we are not proud of. We have all walked out of the sight of God, and we want Him to forgive us. Sometimes we do some stuff. And the first thing that we can say is, Father God, may I beg you, please forgive me. That's a Jamaican line. That's a Caribbean people line. We do some stuff sometimes that we know is not pleasing to God. And the first thing that we can say after we done do what we do, Father God, please, may I beg you, forgive me. And just the same as how we want Him to forgive us, we have to. It doesn't matter what we do to an next person or what an next person does to us. We have to forgive. We have to ask God to help us, because without God's help, we're not going to reach anywhere. We're only going to try, and everything will always seem like it's failing. So those are the steps that we're encouraging persons to take to forgive and to move past the hurt that someone has hurt you. Forgive, love. Love, 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 love. God is love. You cannot love God if you can't love your friends, your neighbors, because you cannot see God. You can only feel His Spirit. And if you love Him, you have to love the humans that you are seeing every day. So, that is saying, I have a friend that hurts me real deep. And she apologized and asked me to forgive her, and honestly, I did. But every time I'm around her, she gets me upset easily and said she don't feel I forgive her. And I keep telling her I do, but she said she don't believe me. I'm still puzzled about it. I have a friend that hurts me real deep, and she apologized and asked me to forgive her. And honestly, I did not. I did. Honestly, I did. But every time I'm around her, she gets upset easily and said she don't feel I forgive her. And keep telling her, and I keep telling her I do, but she said she don't believe me. I'm still puzzled up until now. So, my opinion on that, Odette, is that it's a case where, because you have persons who deliberately hurt people, like deliberately, like I know this is gonna hurt you, but I'm still gonna do it. So my opinion is that that person deliberately hurt you, and because the person know that that's what they did and you're hurt, that person is holding on to themselves and not forgiving themselves for what they have done. Because there is no way I'm still sharing the same space with you. I have forgiven you for what you have done. I'm talking to you. I'm not uncomfortable within myself when I'm around you. I have forgiven you. If you haven't forgiven yourself, that has nothing to do with me. If you have hurt me and you can't forgive yourself for the hurt that you have hurt me, that has nothing to do with me. That is between you and yourself. That's my opinion. I don't know if anybody have anything else or anything different, but that's my opinion. If you hurt me and you apologize to me, saying that you're sorry for what you did, you have forgiven me, you hurt me, right? And I apologize to you. She knows she really hurt me, but God knows I forgive her, right? And that's what I'm saying. All right, you hurt me. You hurt me. I am hurt. I'm deeply hurt. You apologize to me for the hurt that you have hurt me. I forgive you for the hurt that you have hurt me. I forgive you. I don't have you up. I don't have nothing against you. I'm comfortable with being in the same space with you. I don't feel angry. I don't feel irritable. I don't want to see you anymore. So I have forgiven you. I have moved past the hurt, right? I still remember the hurt, but I have forgiven you. Now, if you don't believe that I have forgiven you, that's something for you to work out for yourself. Like, you still haven't forgiven yourself for hurting me. That's how I see it, and that's my opinion. You're still holding on to the fact that you hurt me, and you can't believe that I have forgiven you for the hurt that you hurt me. Because you're saying the person knows that she hurts you really deep. So it goes back to the fact that the person has not forgiven herself for hurting you. So they can't believe that, oh, I really did this to her and she really forgive me. But as long as, because as I was saying earlier, moving forward is for you. Forgiveness is for you. It's not for the person that hurts you. Forgiveness is for you, the person who are hurting. It's not for the person that hurt you. I forgive you for hurting me, but my forgiveness is not for you that hurt me. Forgiveness is for me to move forward, to move on, to not be bitter, to not be angry towards you, to not be angry at anybody else, to not be bitter towards anybody else. That is what forgiveness is for me. Forgiveness, I'm forgiving you doesn't mean that forgiveness is for you. And that's where we keep holding on to, that's why we keep holding on to stuff, because we're telling ourselves that, me not forgive the person, yeah, man, because them do me wrong. It's not for them. It's for you to move forward. It's for you to move on. It's for you to move forward. So if the person is still holding on to saying that they don't believe that you have forgiven them, I know I forgive you. I'm not going to try and convince you that, oh, I forgive you. No, I am happy. I am comfortable with me. I am okay being in the same space with you. I don't have a problem with being in the same space with you. If you don't want to believe that I have forgiven you, that's your problem. That's not mine. I have released myself. I have released my spirit. I have released myself from being bitter. I have released myself from being angry. I have released myself from being aggressive, to say to you, I have forgiven you for what you did. If you don't want to believe that, that's up to you. You can keep holding on to what you want to hold on to. I'm not going to try and convince you that, oh yes, I have forgiven you. No, I have forgiven you. I let you go. I let go of the hurt. I'm not bitter towards you. I'm not angry towards you. I'm not angry at you. I'm not aggressive. I am done with what you did. I'm fine. That's cool. We're in the same space and I'm comfortable with being around you. We are not going to be the same friends that we were before, but I have forgiven you. I have let go of what you did. If you don't want to let it go, that's your problem now. That is the person's problem. Once you are okay with you and you are comfortable and you're not aggravated when you see the person, you're not angry when you see the person, then you are okay. You have forgiven them. If you don't want to believe that I have forgiven you, I'm not going to try and convince you about that. I'm not going to convince you that I have forgiven you. Because forgiveness is the relationship between me and God. And it's a relationship for me to let go of hurt, of bitterness, and of angriness. I'm not, and of aggression. I'm not going to have to go down to the T to prove to you that I have forgiven you. That's for you to work out. So if you don't believe me when I say I have forgiven you, that's your problem. I'm not going to try and convince you. Exactly. I told her I'm comfortable with her. But when I'm around her and we're laughing and being happy, she said, how does I take it? Just like that. That's the thing. So she's still holding on to the fact that she hurt you. So she has not forgiven herself for what she did. She's still holding on to the fact that I know that I hurt you. How can you still be comfortable with me being around? Because she has not forgiven herself. I know I've hurt you. Why you still come around me? Why you comfortable being around me? Why you still laughing around me? Even though you say you forgive me and I know I hurt you. She has not forgiven herself, and that's for her to do. In order for her to acknowledge that you have forgiven her, is for her to forgive herself. It's for her to forgive herself. That's the only way she will acknowledge the fact that you have forgiven her. Forgive herself for what she did. Oh my God, it's 10:30. And I said I wasn't going to be on live for late and for long. So, peeps, I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's session. Our topic was, how do you get past the hurt to love again? And it was very interesting tonight. I didn't have any live callers. We didn't I didn't have any live callers that called in, but there was some interesting opinions, some interesting answers, and tonight was awesome. Thank you all for being a part of this motivational speaking. Thank you all for your opinion and your thoughts. Thank you all for sharing your what you have been through. We're using this media and this forum to encourage persons out there who are going through. And if you have been hurt, all of us have been hurt at some point. Some of us don't know how to deal with hurt. Some of us don't know how to move on from being hurt. But all of us go through something that hurt us or someone. Could be a friend, could be a family member, could be your spouse, your children, your fiance, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. All of us have been through hurt. And this forum was to motivate someone, to help someone to overcome hurt, to help you who have been hurting for so long to move forward and to overcome. And the first step is to forgive. The first step. And if you don't know how to forgive, seek the Lord. Ask God to help you. He is the only source. He's the only way. He will help you, teach you about forgiveness and help you to forgive. And that's the only way you can move on from hurt. The only way you can move on from someone hurting you is to forgive them. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. It was truly a blessing night. And I'm hoping that this forum will be a blessing to someone's heart and to someone who is hurting to move on from the hurt. Thank you all and have a good night. Love you.